Nietzsche's critique of inherited concepts strikes at the very core of our intellectual habits. He asks us to scrutinize the very words and ideas we take for granted, exposing them as relics of primitive thinking rather than as windows to truth. The fragility of language, bad checks of meaning. Nietzsche warns us that just because a word exists does not mean that it corresponds to something real. He compares inherited concepts to bad checks, words that are passed down through generations, assumed to have value, yet never truly cashed in for real meaning. Take, for example, forgetting. We use this word every day as though we understand what it signifies. Yet Nietzsche points out, it has not been proven that forgetting exists. We only know that the act of recollection is not within our power. Daybreak, 2:130. What we call forgetting is merely the absence of recall. We have no access to a forgotten thing until it returns. So do we ever truly forget at all? The word creates an illusion of an actual process, when in reality it is merely a placeholder for our ignorance of memory's workings. This is just one example of how language tricks us into believing that our inherited concepts describe reality, when in fact they only describe how we talk about reality. The tyranny of grammar, why we are not free from God. Nietzsche takes this further. Language does not merely deceive us, but enslaves us. He claims that we still cling to religious metaphysics, not because God is real, but because grammar forces us to think as though he is. I am afraid we are not rid of God because we still have faith in grammar. Twilight of the Idols, Reason in Philosophy, 5. How does grammar deceive us? The subject-verb structure, we say I think or I feel, which implies that there is an I who exists apart from thoughts and feelings. But what if the I is nothing more than the sum of these thoughts? Nietzsche suggests we have no true self, just an ongoing flow of processes, yet grammar forces us to imagine a central doer behind all actions. The illusion of fixed entities, words make us believe in stable, permanent things, soul, self, reason, consciousness, will, truth. But Nietzsche calls these mere linguistic ghosts, inherited from ancient superstition. We speak as if they exist, but where is the soul apart from the body? Where is truth apart from perspective? The ghosts of old psychology, fictions we still worship. For Nietzsche, modern psychology is still shackled by ancient errors. It continues to accept inherited words as real things, rather than as conceptual artifacts from an earlier, less sophisticated time. There exists neither spirit, nor reason, nor thinking, nor consciousness, nor soul, nor will, nor truth. All are fictions that are of no use. The Will to Power, 3:480. But if all these ideas are fictions, why do we keep using them? Nietzsche argues that the value of a concept is not whether it is true, but whether it aids survival and function. The idea of a soul may be false, but it once helped humans construct morality and social bonds. The belief in truth may be naive, but it allows us to build stable knowledge frameworks. The notion of free will may be an illusion, but it gives people a sense of control over their lives. Thus, inherited concepts are useful lies, not because they reveal reality, but because they help us navigate an uncertain world. Nietzsche's pragmatic contradiction, why he still uses these words. If all these concepts are false, why does Nietzsche still use them? He is aware of the inescapability of language. He cannot dismantle inherited concepts without first speaking their names. So he plays with them, bending their meaning, exposing their weaknesses. This is why he uses soul, spirit, ego, self, I, and body wisdom interchangeably. He does not believe in a stable, singular definition for any of them. He only uses them as tools to provoke thought, to loosen their grip on our thinking. His goal is not to abolish language, but to make us conscious of its limitations. The Nietzschean challenge, are we free from our words? Nietzsche does not just critique inherited concepts, he dares us to question our own intellectual inheritance. Are the words we use shaping our perception, rather than the other way around? Do we believe in free will because it exists, or because grammar forces us to imagine it? What other truths are nothing more than shadows of ancient errors? Nietzsche's challenge is radical. He does not tell us what to think, but demands that we ask whether we have ever truly thought at all. Are we the masters of language? Or are we merely parrots of old words, repeating illusions handed down from the past?